Welcome to the Vet Podcast. I'm your host, Ep1 Yount, and today we're going to be interviewing me. It's the first episode, and I wouldn't do anything or ask anybody to do anything that I wouldn't do myself. So, I'm going to go over the steps and the questions that I would ask a normal vet, and I'm going to go, line by line, ask myself the questions, and then answer appropriately. So today you get a nice little podcast talk about me. So sit back, enjoy, and here we go. Okay, here are the questions. What branch did I serve in? Well, I was in the Army. What years did I serve in? What years were I in? I started in 2009, right out of high school. Well, not quite right out of high school. I did a couple things that summer, but that summer I took off, and that leads to the next question, which was what my job was, or MOS. Oh, I'm sorry. I got out on in October of 2015. And my MOS was combat engineer. However, I did spend some time doing company intelligence work and drone work. And I kind of branched out my first 3 years. But the second 3 years, I came back and did my actual MOS, which was basically infantry with explosives. I don't care if you're an infantry guy and get mad at that, but it's whatever. It's kind of the same. Not really, but we learned all the same stuff. All the tactical stuff we had to learn. How to get prepped for all that. Next question here. Let's see. What made you join? My dad. My dad said college isn't really for everyone. Or, sometimes college isn't for everyone. Something along those lines, and it just kind of stuck. Kind of gave me, I don't know, whatever in my head, so that's what I went with, and they let me in because my testing sucked. Whatever. Hey, it worked out, though. What's one memory that always made you laugh? I think there was a time frame when I have a love-hate relationship with the Army. But there was really good times with my friends where we would joke on each other and laugh on each other, and I would laugh at myself because I was so young when I joined. I just didn't know how to be a human at that age. I just was still trying to figure out who I was at that time. Crazy time to go fight a war. I don't get why we do it so young. I mean, I do, but sometimes I don't know. I wonder. So a lot of good times with some of my buddies and some of the people that I met outside of the military. Let's see. So, laughing at how young I was. Stupid, I guess, sometimes. What's something most people don't know about military life? it's all about the job you pick. A lot of the times it could be boring, fun, exciting, adventurous. Sometimes it's just a place to get, it's just a stepping stool for you to get to a higher place because it allows you to see other parts of the world, other parts of how things work. Let's see. Did you have any first day stories? Let's see. Lots of first day stories. I was green, and there was just 5 of us that we started in basic training. It was pretty nuts just starting with the first 5. Around that time frame, I was bound and determined to be a leader. I wanted to lead and show everybody that I could do it. I did my best. But then I started sitting back because I realized there were people that were better than me. I started watching, listening, trying to figure out, not make a fool of myself. It's really hard to do when the things you like to do, sing, act, draw, art, things like that, like just creative things. When you want to do that in the military, it comes in handy and it works. You just have to be in the job title for it. Like there's job titles for people to go around and do shows for for other military guys. They have a talent show that travels from base to base, and I could have been a part of that, and I just didn't choose to be part of that. Chose to sacrifice instead. I guess that's a pattern in my life. Let's see. What's the next question here? First, do I have any first day stories? Oh no, I did that one already. I looked funny bald. What was your favorite duty station or deployment? Bomb holder Germany was pretty nice. But Hawaii was probably my favorite. Tried to take advantage of it. Going to see hikes on that island. Driving around, figuring out. I'm pretty sure Hawaii was my favorite. Let's see here. Story questions. Let's see. Tell me a moment that shaped you. I got picked on a lot. I was one of those kids that, cuss words come out of your mouth and it just doesn't sound right. And then, getting into the military, you try to have mentors or find the right people to mentor you or grow you. And every choice I made there, that didn't do too well. I was looking for somebody to take me under their wing and grow me and turn me into a star, a show, something. And I could have been it. I didn't have really the support when I was in Germany to do that because that was where I had the chance to go be a part of that show. And we were about to deploy. So, did I want to be that in my mind, the guy that left to go do a talent show? Or did I want to go deploy and do my duty for the country, And so that's what I did. I deployed. When I deployed, everybody. So I spent a lot of time 12 on, 12 off, night shift, and I'm leading to a story here. They had a big old whiteboard that's set on our desk area, and it had the mistake of spelling that I had on the wall. And the word was whatever it was, I don't know. then they made up a definition that was funny that sounded, or that sounded word would have maybe gone with, and then they put the real word next to it. And so that went on until the whole board filled up. I'm not a good speller, but or spell check, and I should know, but sometimes things get by, and I tried really hard, and the one day somebody that had picked on me, give me some crap, I saw him walk by, and I just cussed him out. And he's like, good for you. Good for you, Yount. And he pats me on the shoulder and walks off. And I'm like, I just cussed you out. Like, the fuck are you going? I wasn't sure. And then I grew a pair apparently, and went and talked to my commander and went and talked to my first sergeant. I was like, I'm done with this. And, stood up for myself, and that helped a little bit, but I think I needed to get away from everybody who saw me like that for me to change and to grow. I think that was a defining point. That, and the first week I was in Afghanistan, I was put on a guard duty, and we had been talked to about like how bases had been overrun. And this was my first week. I don't know my base. I don't know how this works. The next base over has generators and lights that are just blaring out into the dark and around their base so they can see. In the middle of the night, it was me and Howdy. And he'd been to Afghanistan, or no, he'd been to Iraq. And so he honestly was asleep, and the lights went out on that other place, just shut down, and I was terrified. They had moved back the entrance away from the main entrance, so about 100, probably about a football field away. So the normal entrance was about a football field away, and at that distance, that's where all those lights shut off, and it just became dead silent. And I was scared for my life at that point. Called up over the radio, and they said, give it a minute. And just the lights came back on, but I had woken up Howdy at that point. That was terrifying. But it was a normal occurrence, and I freaked out, I guess, for no reason. But to me, in that moment, when they try to work you up for deployment, I don't think I've ever really just prepped. Well, I had multiple times prepped my brain to do what I had to do while I was deployed there. And I knew that every time going out the gate, and they only let me out once because I think they were nervous about me and what I would do. Because the only time they let me out there, I had my finger over the trigger like they taught me to do. But they're like, don't do that around here. I'm like, what? They're like, just relax. It's okay. And it didn't make sense to me. Because I hadn't seen normal there. I just, it didn't make sense. I was prepped for war, and I didn't get to do it. Like, it wasn't there. Like, I just didn't have, I don't know. I think I was prepped for more. They had showed us videos of, how they were on the what was it called? Basically on a big hill, and they were just surrounded, and it could have, like, they were getting shot at, and they were all the time, and they showed the worst of the worst. And I thought that's what I was going to go into, but I just had to prep myself and then do the clearing, do the biometrics for everyone, the eyes and the fingerprinting, and I had to figure out all that stuff, all the computer stuff, because no one else knew how to do it. I figured it out. What's a story you think your family should hear? I got to go to a trip to Switzerland, and it was rainy the first night I was there, and it was during the middle of summer, and I'm like, what is this? And I'm like, I barely see any of the sights going through there, and it's a gorgeous drive. So, anyways, it's rainy. It's a little dark. It's drewy. I don't know the right word, but clouds, lots of. And then we got our tent set up. In the middle of the night, it was just pouring rain. It was miserable. There was rain still coming through the tent, even though they were waterproof. And that was a lot of water coming through. I'm like, it was getting dripped on. Luckily, I had a good sleeping bag because it was waterproof. So I got a decent night of sleep when I got there. When I got, finally asleep. Woke up and down a couple nights that night. But when I woke up, it made everything worth it. I counted waterfalls in the dozen, like a couple. It was insane seeing how many waterfalls are coming off all these beautiful mountains. And it wasn't just in one direction, it was in all directions. And then there was a little hill where a town had just set up. There's nothing like it. It's gorgeous. If you ever get the chance, that's what it's worth. That's worth the drive. That's worth the flight. That's worth the money, Switzerland. Because there's no place like it. There might be, and it's probably up in Canada, and we just can't, we don't get to see it because we haven't built out to it, or it's non-livable, whatever. But there's probably places like it, but not the same. It's stunning. Let's see. Did you have a mentor or someone that changed your life? I got to Germany. It was my first duty station, and I went to church, and I got invited to go eat out with some friends that were just there, and there were missionaries that spent time with, single vets, or not vets, single soldiers. And there was no really, like in Germany, there was a lot of language differences, so it kind of felt odd. So anything was helpful. And I spent a lot of time, anytime I could get, I spent it there with the missionaries there, Brad and Debbie. I learned a lot of things. It was the first time I ever sat down and had a beer with my mentor, religious mentor, and I'm glad I did, because he opened my mind up to a lot of different thoughts and thought processes, and I wouldn't be the same person I am now if I didn't meet that man. So, if you're listening, Brad, thanks for everything you did, because I'm really grateful. When I got to Hawaii, I had a decent mentor. It's Kevin. He had 9 kids. And I think my wife was a little broken when my life at the time, Kaylee, was a little broken when they got pregnant on, I think, like 10 or something, and we had a hard time. We had moved away at that time a couple times from different places. Mistakes, but that's okay. Kevin was a good mentor. Taught me how to cook. I learned some things there too. So that was fun. Let's see here. Well, I had learned to cook in Del Rancho over in Tahlequah. That was my first job, or second job. My first real job was working over in a plantation. Me and some of the other football guys, we would move plants from one side of the plantation to the other, down by the lake. Making $7.25 an hour, I think. $7.50 an hour, something like that. Then I got over to Del Rancho, and I was making like 17, 16, 17 an hour, something like that. Wasn't too bad. There was a limit to my brain power. It just stopped. I couldn't compute with like 10 different orders, and my brain didn't. I just stopped. I don't know. It was Stacy, the manager at the time. She knew what I was going through, but I don't know. I could only get so far, and then I would hit a brick wall. Probably ADHD or something. What time were you really proud of yourself or your unit? When I did a lot of the company intelligence stuff, the COI stuff I built, basically, I built a morning briefing page on Excel, where you get the news, you get the weather, you get anything that had happened in the area, anything that had happened in Afghanistan, or anything that had happened abroad. And I had like it all set up into one Excel spreadsheet, and I sent it to everybody in the morning that needed it, and they got all their information from that. And it was just easy work for them after that, because I did the hard work. I was really proud of that. Let's see. Also, I was young at that time frame, and a German sergeant major came in, and he was just alone. And so I just started talking to him. I started like, hey, this is what we're doing over here, because no one was talking to him. I'm like, this man clearly knows what he could do. And I don't know. German sergeant major gave me a coin. I thought that was pretty cool. I was pretty proud of that too. What's a funny or wild story from your service? I got one. So there's a short guy, and he was like, I don't know, he'd come up to my armpits, like, and I'm 6 foot, 5'11", 6 foot with boots, and this guy's short. And, he's always acting like he's got something to prove. So he goes up to the biggest guy, and this guy, big, tall, white dude. I'm talking huge. Always on the edge of, maybe making it on the PT test or the weight exam, but almost not there, kind of guy, but like 6'6", 6'7", something stupid. Lineman size. And Williams, that was his name. He goes up to him and he's like, "Here, I want you to kick me with my armor on. Test it." And we were out in the field, and this is This guy stands on one end of the barracks, and the other guy stands on the other and starts to run. The big guy starts to run at him. And then he jumps up. And they use like a bed so that he could fall down. And he kicks the guy in the chest. Whoa! Both feet. This Williams goes like 3, 4, 5, 6 feet back. Left bruises. Oh my God. I couldn't imagine the pain. And then when we were out in the field, we had to lay on our chest. I can't imagine the pain he went through to. Oh my God. But it was funny watching. I remember watching it to this day because it was so hilariously cartoonish. But it stuck in my mind. It was great. What did you carry with you physically and mentally from your service? I mean, I got problems just like everybody else. I just don't think I was built for the military. Wasn't really my thing. Or maybe it was, and I just didn't have the right spouse, and it wasn't in the right job. Wrong place, wrong time. Maybe it was for me. It just wasn't. I didn't make the right decisions or choices. I think my wife now could have got me through some of that, but that still would have been hard. And I don't want anybody to go through that. So I'm changed. I'm a different person. I'm not the same person. I'm not the person I would have been. I would have been a different person. My life would have drastically changed if I had made other choices. And there were a couple just minor ones that I made that changed all those things. A lesson that I use from the military every day: leave a place better than you left it. Or than you found it. Leave a place better than you found it. It's always important. Because maybe that's just something I grew up with. I think holding myself accountable and discipline, doing the right thing, I think those are some major ones that'll help me, that'll help anyone get through life. What was coming home like? Well, I didn't really go home. When I was in, my home kind of got sold. My grandparents passed away, and my dad couldn't really keep up with everything because he was going through a divorce, the second divorce. He asked me if I wanted to help pay. I regret some of that today, but there's nothing you can do about that. So, a little empty. I'm a little determined to make something, to keep growing. I have started here in Oklahoma with about an acre, and I want to keep growing from that. What do you wish civilians understood about veterans? That we're a little broken. We don't operate the same way, and sometimes we just wish somebody would scream, fall in, and all of us just start doing things structurally. But we know that's not the real world. And I tell myself that every day. That's not the real world. So, but that's not the point. What does service mean to me now? It means helping other people, helping while I can, doing little things for people, and mentoring. I feel like I want to mentor people because I didn't get the proper mentoring that I wanted in the military. So anywhere that I get the chance to, I like to be. If you could tell young soldiers today one thing, what would it be? One, young soldiers, you should always get anything that hurts checked out by the medic. Two, make sure it's written down in paperwork and gets into your records. It's important. Let's see here. If you could tell, I already did that one. What would you tell your younger self? Wait it out. Pick the MOS you want. That's important. That's an important decision. Pick one that you think. Well, now we have ChatGPT, so I would go there and dig with that and figure out what I would be best at in the military. And I didn't have that when I was a kid. I just had to ask people and look at a list and be like, "Yeah, that sounds good." And they said like, "Hey, this one's cool. You get to blow stuff up." And I was like, "Really? Oh, I get to blow stuff up. I like fireworks." Da, 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 da. And it just, as a kid, who doesn't want to blow stuff up? But really, it's there. You get to go place this brick over here in this line, and this is how this works. And then you walk away. And then you go press this button, and you don't see it, but you hear it. And then you gotta wonder what you're doing to yourself out with these explosives. And then you gotta figure out how to use them in the appropriate ways. And then you still wonder what they're doing to your body. But they're blasting them 3, 4, 5, 6 feet away. All kinds of crazy stuff. Tangent. What was I saying? Younger self? I don't know. What would you want your kids, grandkids to know about your time in service? It's worth it. It's worth it to see the world, to get a little bite of it. Build afterwards. Have your kids do that part of your life and grow from that. Then keep going. Do what you like. Do what you love. Be the best version of yourself. The version you want to see. The version you want everyone else to see. We have a chance to grow like no one else because we have all the information. It's all there in the sky for us just to tap. And I love that. What should people remember about veterans like me? If we snap, it's not personal. Sometimes we lose it. Sounds, lots of things, but we are not okay sometimes. It's okay not to be okay. And give that person whatever they need. Sometimes you can read and tell, and sometimes you can't. And you have to ask. And we're not good at communicating. And with that, I say use the 1 to 10 scale. What's important to you should be a 10. What's important to them should be a 10. Not so important ones. And you find your little happy medium that way. It's important that you take out the dishes or do the dishes every night. That's a 10. Oh, it's important that I get to watch anime every night. That's a 10. Now you both understand how important both of these things are to you, so you can get through it. Sorry, that was a rant. If this was the last time you told your story, what would you want to say? It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to grow when it's hard. should always try. If there's something you want to do, try. Because if you don't, you'll always wonder if you did. Yeah. So until next time, I will talk to you guys later.